why don't we do a bonus topic, NFL topic? The best. Another nice thing about bye week is just watching the games on TV. I don't do that. I'm at the game, it's all silent, and I watch. But this weekend, I could hear Tom Brady, Tony Romo, Greg Olsen, all the guys. Who would you say is the best? And then we can talk about who the worst is.
Okay, what we're talking about is not play-by-play announcers. We're talking about analysts on national on TV. And I want to, just before I get into it, say you have to understand. I was, for almost 40 years, I was a sports columnist sitting in the press box, and you don't hear the announcers. So this is all new to me. I watch games at home now, and I hear the announcers. Sometimes I turn off the sound, and I'll tell you who I turn off the sound on in a minute, because I find them irritating and they get in the way of my watching the game, because I never had people talking before. A press box is very quiet and you don't hear any announcers. So this is all new to me, listening to announcers. Now, I think Iggy and I disagree on the best analyst. So I'll give you my take, and then Iggy his, and we'll go on. I actually like Tom Brady a lot. And I'll tell you why I like him a lot. I've never met him, although he's a Bay Area guy. I thought he would be, because he was so great and so famous, kind of condescending to the athletes, because he's better than most of them. I find that he's very enthusiastic and really likes what good players do. Yeah, I remember a few games ago, Kittle flew and parallel to the ground and caught the ball, and Brady was really excited. He said, "Look at the big man go!" And he wasn't at all condescending. He was enthusiastic, the way Gruden used to be as an announcer, not as a coach, but as an announcer. And I like that sort of innocent, gosh, OG quality. The other thing I like about him, because he was a quarterback and one of the greatest, he sees the game from the quarterback's point of view. And that's the key point of view. It's like Mike Krukow, when he is so great, because he sees the game from the pitcher's point of view. And you thinking every moment with Mike, what is the pitcher thinking? What is the batter thinking? What's going on between them, their minds? And he's doing that with the quarterback. So I go for Brady, but I know that you have someone you prefer.
I like Brady a lot too. I think that he's new, and a lot of times he tries really hard to be positive and to find enthusiastic things to say. And you find him say, like, analyzing celebrations and saying that, what a great celebration that was. I was like, all right, Tom, you know how to be so enthusiastic. Well, I kind of like Troy Aikman. He's almost bored. He doesn't talk a lot, but he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. And he will criticize people. He doesn't have any filter. He doesn't wait to say it. He will be pretty, like, salty. And I like that about he's almost condescending, which I kind of like, because he wasn't the best quarterback of his era. He was very good, but he wasn't the best, but he still has his own perspective, and I don't know. I appreciate that.
What about the pen?
He's always holding a pen, like he's always like, all right, here's what I'm seeing out there. It's like, you haven't used that pen. That pen probably doesn't even work. Is Tom Brady not a pen wearer?
I've never seen him with a pen. Every time they give a thing with him and Joe Buck, with Aikman and Joe Buck, he's holding the pen. And I wonder, does he really use it? I don't know. Or is it a prop? But aside from the pen, listen, I prefer Brady, but I'll go. I really like Aikman. I'm going to tell you another one I like. As much as Aikman, I like Chris Collinsworth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like him?
He's a lot of fun. He has a twinkle in his voice, if that exists.
Yes.
He seems to really enjoy the game. He has all kind of voice modulation and energy, emotion, and I don't know. He's probably the most entertaining of the announcers.
Okay, I'm going to say, I agree. I don't think he's as good as my guy Brady. But here's what I want to say. He's with Mike Tirico.
Mike Tirico, yes.
I'm Tirico. Again, I don't know these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the best combination. I don't put Collinsworth as the best analyst, but I think that they have the best chemistry, the two of them. And I think Tirico is the best play-by-play guy, Iggy. I
I
really
think
think he's
so too.
very good.
Yeah,
He's great. And I
yeah,
think they're the best combo of all of them.
yeah.
Now, I'm going to talk about some others. Um, Tony Romo.
He's terrible.
Iggy, when he first started, I thought he was okay. Now, I wonder if he even does his homework. And I don't know, but I want to say one other thing. Sometimes at the end of his sentences, he drops his voice so much, I don't hear the conclusion. Do
He
you
just
have that
trails
with
off.
him?
He just
He trails
trails off.
off.
It's terrible. He's like, it's like, could you figure out what you want to say before you just start making noises? Here, I'm gonna give him. Here's my explanation for the downfall of Tony Romo. He was one never that good. The reason people liked him is because his first season, what he would do is he was like, "Oh, they're going to run this play," and he was right a lot of the time. And the reason he could do that is because he was just in the league and he had been doing his homework. So he had studied all these defenses and he pretty much understood what he was seeing. But it's been 10 years. Defenses have evolved, offenses have evolved. He hasn't been in the league. I mean, he's detached from it. So he has no idea what he's looking at anymore. And the one thing that made him kind of fun to watch and different, that he could predict plays, that's gone. He doesn't even try to anymore. And he just seems like he just sounds bumbling.
Yeah, I think so. So you may be a very nice guy, Tony, but I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not a fan of your work.
I'm
Now, I
sorry,
want to get.
Tony. You cannot have a pony.
No, you cannot have a pony.
The thing
I'd
about
like.
Collinsworth, he's not a
Yeah.
quarterback. He's good. He's a wide receiver. And I think if you're an analyst and you're not a quarterback, it kind of puts you at a little bit of a deficit when we talk about a guy like, say, Greg Olsen.
Oh, okay, now we get to the guys that make my jaws tight and put
Mm,
me on edge. Greg Greg Olsen, former tight end, right?
mm,
I want to praise him at first, but I'm not going to praise him. Is he really understands football?
yes.
He's very smart, and so a lot of times if there's a penalty, he'll call it before the officials do because he really sees the field. Someone was offside, someone did this, someone did there was holding, defensive or offensive holding. I mean, he's really, really good. So I give him that. But he is one of the ones I turn the sound off because Iggy, he talks too much. I think a good announcer has to understand to be concise, how to be
Mm,
concise, just like a writer. And you need to understand quiet is helpful too. He feels he's getting paid by the word. So he talks fast and he talks too much and he talks into the next play. You can see the quarterback is now under center and he's still talking about the former play. And I find it distracting and I would have to say annoying. So, although I give him props, he needs to work with somebody to actually talk less, to learn how to talk less. And he's not my worst. But Iggy, do you think I'm being unfair to him?
I don't. I think he means well, but the the pace at which he speaks and the fact that he talks into the next play is kind of unacceptable, and he should be coached. And they should fix. They should turn off his microphone once the play starts because it seems like the best of all time or the most famous of all time is John Madden. And if you remember Madden, I mean, he wouldn't always use words. He would say things like boom. He was very emotive, but he wasn't speaking fast and he wasn't speaking into the next play. He was done when the next play started. He was relatively concise. He was great.
He was great. He was a better announcer than a coach.
Yes.
He was a better announcer than a coach.
Yes.
Bill Walsh was a better coach than him, but was not a good announcer.
Why was he not a good announcer?
He didn't have a projecting personality. Bill was the kind of guy, if you were in a group of a few people, he was really funny, Iggy. Was like Jack Benny. He had that uh, deadpan delivery with perfect timing, but he didn't have the big personality for television, and he washed out at it, and it hurt him very much. But he wasn't good at it.
Hmm.
So now
There's
I'm going to
actually
tell
some
you
of that in your book, Rough Magic.
about him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so. I haven't
yeah.
read that book in like a long time.
It's really good. You did a good job. There's the
Eh,
scene
I
where he's working for NBC, I wanna say, and they wanted him to interview Joe Montana, who was still, like, in the
oof.
NFL at the time and a big shot, and Bill had to, like, you know, ask him for an interview. It was like a power role reversal, and it's interesting. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna tell you what happened. Go read the
yeah.
book.
It was hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell you the one I like the least. It's this Herbstreit. Is that his name? Kirk Herbstreit or Herb
You call him
Kirkstreet?
Kirk Street.
What's his name?
Kirk Herbstreit. You call him Kirk Street, and I like that better.
Okay, Kirkstreet. Here's the thing. He works with Al Michaels, who I know, or let me say I used to know, and I love Al Michaels. I'm going to say a few things about Al first. Al is a wonderful play-by-play announcer. He is wonderful. And if you think he's good at football, you should have heard him at baseball. Al was one of the greatest baseball announcers who ever lived. Who ever lived. So, Al, if you
Did he do
hear about
national
it,
games? Did he do any team in particular?
both. He did the Giants.
Wow.
I used to go to Stanford and run an Angel Field, and he was there running. He lived in Menlo Park.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I got the privilege. This was before I was a sports writer of hearing him. God, Iggy, God, was he good? God, that's how great he was. Okay. So Al, if you hear about this, I'm not putting you down at all, and you may be friends with Herbstreit, Kirk Street. It's not personal. He has all the flaws of Olsen. He talks too much. He always talks into the next play. But it's even worse than that, Iggy. He gets paid to talk and he doesn't hear words. He's always using the word physicality. Iggy, so and so has physicality.
Mhm.
Kirk, don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
It's an English monstrosity. Find
It's
a
a
better way to
football only word. You never would use that word in any other setting, physicality.
physicality.
Yeah.
And Iggy, he says it all the time, all the time. And
Also, like, he's a college guy, so he always wants to show you what he knows about every player's college career. He went to
oh,
Ohio State. He went to Maryland. Who fucking cares, man? I mean,
right.
no, but it's like it's the NFL, man. We're past that.
Yeah. Say he was at Alabama and he was a leader. He was a leader. Who gives a shit? He's in the NFL now. That's over with. So
Yeah.
he's always mixing in college with the pros. Everybody has physicality. He talks Iggy. Didn't we one night we're watching a game and we said in one paragraph he had about 5 cliches. He
Yeah.
has every football cliche. So, he's
But
one.
unlike Greg Olsen, who you seems like understands the sport and is just having a tough time explaining it concisely to people who don't know as much as him. Herbstreit doesn't seem like he has any special knowledge of the sport. He's not teaching me anything about the game or the strategy. He just has little Wikipedia biography entries about certain players and talks too much.
Yeah. So Iggy, when I watch them, I get it on Prime. I always turn off the sound, which hurts me because I want to hear Al, but I can't. I'd rather not hear Kirk Street than to hear Al, and that's bad.
What
But one
annoys
other,
me about Herbstreit going into the play is because that's Al's time. Shut the fuck up.
that's
You
Al's
gotta give
time.
it over to you're a team. And when you're talking when the play's going on, you're just bogarting. That's the kind of thing that the dude for the Warriors does. He's both. All of a sudden
Yeah.
he's both. And it's like Kalina's like, hey man, like, do I need to be here? I'm just saying.
I
Sorry.
second that. Iggy,
Yeah.
you know what? I second that emotion. Okay.
Yeah.
But Herb Street is one I always turn off the sound. The only time with him I turn on the sound is if there's a penalty and I need to hear the official. So I know what it was, but then I'll turn it right off because he actually harms the game for me. I find it so annoying to hear him. And he may be a wonderful man. I'm sorry. I'm not saying anything like that. It's just for me, he's unlistenable compared to someone like Aikman or someone like Brady. And one other thing about Collinsworth, which you point out, everything for Collinsworth is a situation. It's never
Oh my
third and four. It's never
that would be
third and four. It's a third and four situation. His whole
you get
life
this
is a
guy in
situation.
a 3rd and 7 situation, man.
We need to take situation out of football. It doesn't help, Iggy. Situation.
If you people use that word all the time. If you ask the average American to just give a definition of the word situation, how would you even go about it? Well, it
Yeah.
means a circumstance. Okay. Well, then why? It's you can always take that word out of a sentence.
Yeah. It's
Just
third and
delete
four.
it. It's third and
It's third
four.
and
It's
four.
not a third. It's also a third and four situation, but it's just third and four.
Third and four. And
Yeah.
football fans know it, what third and four means, and would appreciate the lack of a situation. So his Achilles heel, Collinsworth, everything is a situation, Iggy. He must use that word 50 times a broadcast.
Before we move on, I want to shout out the Niners announcers. To their credit, Greg Papa and Tim Ryan both really know the sport. They really know the team. They really know the rest of the league. And you will be well informed if you listen to their broadcast. They do a good job.
Yeah, now Greg is not well these days, and we want to shout out to Greg. You're wonderful at what you do. You're a great guy, and we wish you, Grant and I wish you all the best. I've never met Tim, but Grant has, and he says he's a great guy, and I do enjoy to listen to Tim.
Mm,
So
agreed.
shout out,
And I
thank you. I'm
think
glad you
Guy
did that.
Haberman is doing a good job filling in too. He's always been a good college play-by-play announcer. Does his homework. Knows what he's talking about. Got a good voice. Jewish.
Landsman, he's a Landsman.
Landsman.